Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1. Is it too loud for you? Okay.
No.
We're at episode
Mike's Daily Podcast
1879, 1879. I'm Mike Matthews. It's fine. Because we've got lovely lady friend here today. Oh my. She's looking so hot. She's looking so swell. And it's Mike Matthews. And what the hell? We're going to talk about all kinds of things today. We don't know what we're going to talk about. That's why we have these notes.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
We have notes to help us here at Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. And
Mike's
you can see a picture
Daily
of Cafe Anyway
Podcast
at MikesDailyPodcast.com.
Yeah.
I don't know what the podcast picture is. I'll just warn you ahead of time, but we always feature a podcast picture. Although it was 6 years ago. Don't you love, lovely lady friend, that thing? Not to give Google a plug, because oh boy, we watched a thing. Was it last night? About the way they are stealing all our information?
A couple of nights ago.
And it was seriously like time to delete every single app. I have already told you, the podcast listener of Mike's Daily Podcast, that I am app averse. I only download what I really, really need, that I really, really think works. And one of them, to give Google a plug, is their Google Photos thing. I like the fact that I can upload it, not to give them a free plug. They're not giving me money. But if you it just starts uploading all your pictures, and then lovely lady friend and I share the pictures, and I use those pictures for the podcast picture. And I think I'm going to go back in time, because it sometimes shows you what happened on this date like 6 years ago. Okay, I'm going to put that in post. A little something.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Going back in time to 6 years ago, I went to Santa Cruz with Basil the Boxer. And he's actually here too at Cafe Anyway, sitting next to lovely lady friend. And did you hear him? He's doing a little, I can hear his little whining a little bit. He's like, what's going on? I want to be on the podcast. So 6 years ago, let's see, he would have been 4 or 5. And anyway, I got a podcast picture from that trip to Santa Cruz, and you can see it at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Yes, there he is, saying how much he hates the picture. Mike, delete this at once. So, unless, lovely lady friend, you have a picture you would like me to post.
Nah, I can't think of any off the top of my head right now.
But we're at Cafe Anyway, and did you bring... Oh, you're just having... What's that?
Oh, no, I was just thinking about our baby pictures. But probably not.
Baby pictures? Oh! Yeah, no. So we were looking at each other's baby pictures the other day. And lovely lady friend, of course, was a beautiful baby.
Oh, you were very cute.
Oh. Stop.
You were.
Keep going. Stop. Yes, she was beautiful, like a little doll. And then she showed me some of her hot college pictures from her hot college days in Chicago. And then what else? Oh, I saw the ex-husband. That was fun. Sort of what I expected. I don't know why. I don't know. Basil. Why is Basil so concerned right now? He's like, I'm going to sleep. You guys shut up. What are you talking about? Oh, he's making a little noise.
He's like, forget you guys.
Oh, wow. We got a full on.
Oh, you heard that?
That was live, everybody. Live on Mike's Daily Podcast.
He's like the grumpy old man. You guys, why I oughta.
Lovely lady Fred has impressions she does. This is awesome. What do you think of lovely lady friend's impressions? You can call me 336MM Daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews. Daily as in we're almost daily this week.
I'm a one-hit wonder. That's about it.
But we were watching this thing about Brittany
Kaiser.
I was thinking of Brittany Howard from
I was like, Britney Spears?
Alabama Shakes. No, not that Brittany. Brittany Howard, Alabama Shakes.
Yeah.
They came from Athens, Alabama, where I worked, and met some great people, Carrie and Gary, and it was Carrie's birthday. She just turned 50 this past 50 past weekend, and somebody from Atlanta Rhythm Section, they had that song, Love's a little spooky with a spooky little girl like you. No?
Oh, yeah.
I think that was
That's
them.
vaguely familiar. I don't know the name. You're amazing with that. Uncanny.
Thank you. I'm an uncanny mic man.
Yes, your ability to remember details, not just names of songs, but the producer, who was the drummer, the drummer's sister's grandmom.
I should get into radio.
You should. Have you thought about it?
I'm going to maybe do that. Oh, I'm on KKDV on Sunday mornings, 6 to noon. You've heard me.
I have.
And it's you can hear it at kkdv.com, or it's actually 92.1 FM if you're in the Contra Costa County area. You used to live in Contra Costa. Did you like it?
I did.
I'm having a little root beer here at Cafe anyway, made by the brewmaster who said he would cut me. Continue.
I'm trying to think back where this is my terrible geography. Contra Costa County, is Hercules part of Contra Costa?
Yeah.
Or no, I think that's Solano.
I don't know.
No, I'm thinking of Benicia. I think Benicia was Solano County.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, as we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. We are in Podcastro Valley today.
What a great day.
Look who's here. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
It's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you
What?
I sure like talking to your lovely lady friend. Don't get jealous, Benita.
I'm not jealous. I'm not threatened by lovely lady friend. Women power.
That's right. Solidarity.
Sister.
Fist bump.
Fist bump. They fist bumped. Oh, by the way, so somebody we know who's been on the show, Stormy Phoenix, Giselle, she has sent me this evening a picture of a bald guy singing on a stage. You could see through like the Jumbotron. And she's obviously at a concert. And she's like, why are you up on stage singing right now at this concert? And I said, do all white bald guys look the same? But she said it was the lead singer, Ed Kowalczyk from Live. Lightning crashes when a new one dies. Baby, wait. When an old man dies? How does that lyric go? I forget.
I have no idea. I butcher songs.
Oh, I feel it coming back again like a roll thunder. He lived in Ojai, and I got to meet him years ago. There was a guy named Darren McPeak who's up now in Canada working at a radio station up there, but he got to interview him live on the air, and then afterwards I was hanging out outside the studio, and I got to meet him, shake his hand, and Basil doesn't like this story. He's like sighing. Oh, get on with it, Mike. Jeez. But the funny thing about Ed Kowalczyk is, so we've done his set. We played music off of the album. I think it was called Birds of Prey was the album. And we were one of those stations that played a lot of 80s mixed with 90s and the O's, etc. And all of a sudden, Bring Me a Higher Love came on by Steve Winwood. And Ed Kowalczyk goes, oh my God, I love this song. He goes, this song is so awesome. And the guy that mixed this song, Bob Clearmountain, also mixed our album. He was so proud of that, Bob Clearmountain. And if you look at a lot of stuff from the 80s, Bob Clearmountain was all over that. Unlike Patrick Leonard. No, Patrick Leonard was all over the 80s too. And apparently, my dad might have actually lived next to Patrick Leonard, and my dad didn't know it, and I didn't know it. But yeah, because Patrick Leonard was married to a woman named Olivia d'Abo.
And who is Patrick Leonard again?
Patrick Leonard produced "Open Your Heart to Me," the Madonna album. A lot
of Madonna songs, yes.
Yeah, she did. I don't know if she did the one Like a Virgin. He definitely did Like a Prayer, that album. He did True Blue, all those hit songs. True Blue, gonna be True Blue, baby. So basically those two albums. Then he had a band called Toy Matinee that had a great singer named Kevin Gilbert, who sadly died. And he, Kevin Gilbert wrote Sheryl Crow's song, "All I Wanna Do Is Have Some Fun."
This is what I mean.
He was part of the Tuesday Music Club. Whatever that Sheryl Crow album was called, I forgot now. Then Patrick Leonard produced someone that we're going to see at the end of the month. Brian Ferry produced the album Bête Noire that had the song "Kiss and Tell, Money Talks, You Never Lie." So, Patrick Leonard. And he was right next door to me. He also produced an album, he was in a band called Third Matinee with the guy from what was his name? Plant. No, that's Jimmy Page? No. Oh, Robert Page. I was thinking of the Led Zeppelin guys. Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, that's Led Zeppelin. Then there's, right? Oh, I'm sorry, Robert Plant, if I forgot your name, if I'm saying it wrong. No, it's Robert Plant. And then there was something Page. Anyway, the lead singer of Mr. Hey, Soul Sister, ain't that Mr. on the radio? He was with Patrick Leonard. All right, I've completely lost everyone.
Wow.
I'm spent.
Where'd that thread begin?
And look who else is here.
Let's follow the breadcrumbs.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. Have some right now. I'll cut you. Just kidding. Hi, lovely lady friend. Oh, boy.
Did you like my thread, Brewmaster?
Yeah, it was okay. All right. Oh, boy.
Okay. Good. Basil just grunted.
Oh.
He did not care.
He wasn't a fan.
Quite frankly, Mike, I don't care about 80s music. Just move on. Okay. So I've got the light outside of Cafe Anyway. It is nighttime, and my outdoor lights aren't that good at Cafe Anyway, but I did have... Oh, by the way, go see, back to that quickly, that Brittany Kaiser thing. Brittany Kaiser.
That's how it started.
Who was... Let's see if this won't devolve into a music talk story. She was... Oh, it's Hack. You got to watch
Hack.
The Great Hack on Netflix. And it talks about how she was the instrumental... Oh, she worked with Cambridge Analytica. And so this documentary is all about Cambridge Analytica. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for making me watch. I think I caught the last half hour or half of it. And she... Oh my gosh, just Facebook just sucks all your information and sells it. And her whole thing, and the guy who was the main impetus behind this movie, their whole thing is you own your data, you should get paid for your data. And that is why I do all my searching, not on Google, so I just withdraw my Google plug. And I do all my searching on Bing, because at least they give you rewards. I've gotten like Amazon cards and all kinds of stuff for doing searches on Bing. Not to get Bing a plug, because that's Microsoft. And anyway, but that's Cafe Anyway, what I wanted to say. That was a really good movie.
Yes, it was. And their big plug was data rights are human rights.
That's right. Data rights are human rights. That makes sense. I think you should
just to
own your rights.
Yes, absolutely. That's what it's about, to know what we're getting into when we download these apps, like, what was that, Face app or whatever?
Oh,
Face
yeah, the Russians. Oh, and I knew all these idiots from radio and other places that on their Facebook, and I'm looking right at you, Funk. I know a guy named Funk who doesn't listen to this podcast, but he's a big podcast fan. He took that and made an old man picture of himself. Dude, you just sold your whole face and image, and he's big on that because he's constantly posting on Instagram and Facebook. That's all on the Russians own you, dude. You're all owned by Russia.
Yep, for perpetuity. They could do whatever they want.
Now, true, since just about all my podcast pictures are on Google, they own it, I guess. I don't know. That should be mine.
I like the word perpetuity. Perpetuity.
Google, do you mind if I borrow my podcast pictures so I can put them on my freaking website at MikesDailyPodcast.com? You want me to use that as the podcast word today? Perpetuity.
Perpetuity. Say it.
Perpetuity. Perpetuity.
It's very
I knew you could.
Perpetuity.
Perpetuity. I knew you could.
Yeah.
Wow, what a day I had. You and I both had amazing days. You got to run and exercise.
Yeah, but these were all by choice. You unfortunately had no choice. You had a different kind of amazing day.
Yeah, it was what we call it involves radio, and the whole radio stations went off the air because of the transmitter, and I had a crash course in turning transmitters on and all kinds of stuff. It was interesting. But you know what? Nobody raised their voice to me today, and I appreciate that. They recognized that I work hard, and that the last person to be reprimanded for anything is me.
Love, no one should raise their voice at you.
Oh, thank you. You can raise your voice at me.
No.
It'd be kind of kinky. I want you to yell at me. I got this Angela Merkel thing, so just start yelling at me in German. It goes back to some...
Nein!
Oh, stop. Do you have anything else to say about perpetuity and Google and Brittany Kaiser and Facebook, how Facebook sucks? By the way, you can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/MikeTalks.
Just folks think twice before you download an app.
Thank you. That's the main... If you've learned anything from today's show, don't just blindly download apps. Ugh. And you know what's interesting? The more apps you have on your phone, if at night you don't have your phone, that little setting up at the top that has the little Wi-Fi symbol, if you've turned off your Wi-Fi, all night long those apps are sending over your data plan all the information that you've used. They do it on the overnight for some reason. All those companies are sucking all that data that you've let them have, and they use your data plan. So you've depleted if you have unlimited data, you don't care. But if you don't, they've just sucked all your data away on the overnight. And so at least turn your Wi-Fi on so they could get it through the internet. But realize that all those apps are doing that on the overnight. We deleted a bunch of Lovely Lady Friends apps. It felt so good.
It did. It was like purging.
It was like taking shots at them damn Russians.
I felt
coming at
empowered.
I shot at what's his name? Commie Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell.
Moscow Mitch
McConnell.
Okay, that's a new one.
Moscow Mitch McConnell. Hey, I want to say it's all right to bash Mitch McConnell, even if you're a Republican. I don't know any Republicans that like Mitch McConnell. Everybody, first off, if you're a Trump supporter, you hate, you by definition hate, we went political. We're going to go political just for a minute. You hate the establishment, right? Drain the swamp, that whole thing. I know because my mom says this all the time. Mitch McConnell is the swamp. He is the swamp. The only reason why Trump supporters like Mitch McConnell is because he, broke with all of his morals and decided to go and help Trump. So anyway, but apparently I don't know anything about this Russian You just told me about this before the podcast, that he banned. So we had some kind of law that we were going to pass that would ban the Russians from getting into our elections, and Mitch McConnell said, "No, I don't want to do that. No, because I'm a turtle turd." Oh. So that's what I say to. I don't think if you're a Trump supporter,
constipated turtle.
He does. Poor constipated turtles.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
All right, we have a couple other things to get to, and that is resolution reboot. This is an article that I found in Costco magazine, because I'm too cheap to buy magazines. Who buys magazines anymore? I have so many. Lovely lady friend will tell you I have bags of magazines I haven't read yet.
You can give them to me for my collages.
Ooh, okay. Do you know what I was
my
using?
Therapy collages.
I got a bunch of magazines, put them in a bag, and then I made sure that I put like enough to weigh 25 pounds. That's how I knew I didn't have to buy 25-pound dumbbells, because I just put them in bags and I would do curls. That's why I got these big pythons, my love.
Don't share your secrets.
All right, I'm going to start reading this for just a second. Please welcome to Reader's Theater. The year is more than half over, and you've stayed committed to or achieved a New Year's resolution. Have you? Have you achieved a New Year's resolution?
Yeah, working on it. In progress.
If you have, you're among an elite group. Most people give up on resolutions by January 12th, according to data analyzed by Strava. I need a new lamp. I really cannot read. That's a social network for athletes. Furthermore, thank you. Oh, that helped. She took this funky lamp I have out here at Cafe Anyway and turned it. It's what I should have thought of years ago. Furthermore, a study by the University of Scranton. Did you live anywhere near Scranton?
No.
No.
But isn't The Office supposedly...
Is that Scranton?
I think so. Scranton, Ohio. Anyway.
Showed that only 8% of us achieve our resolutions. 8%. With fitness or weight loss topping the list of New Year's resolutions, it's likely you're among those who've had good intentions but lost your way on the road to a healthier lifestyle. The good news is you don't have to wait for another new year to achieve those resolutions. In fact, you can restart today. It's okay, armed with the right information to succeed. The decision to start or start over is sometimes the biggest barrier to overcome for people who have repeatedly given up on their past resolutions. Because we give up and then we get so mad and frustrated and we just keep we just are okay with giving up. We become all right with it. That's when you need to flex the mindset muscle. I thought it said midriff muscle. Do you have a midriff muscle?
I'm trying to find it. It's one of my New Year's resolutions.
Oh, you have a lovely midriff. To reframe your thoughts from "I'm sure I'll fail again" to "I'm ready to succeed." Anyway, this goes on. This article talks to one of these coaches, these life coaches, and says, "I asked my clients if they would say those negative things they think about themselves to a friend, and the answer is always no. We are successful in so many areas of our lives, but choose to focus on our failures instead. You have to flip that way of thinking and start reminding yourself of all the things you accomplished to build up that positive mindset." I love that. Sorry, I woke up Basil. Comments, my love?
If only it were that easy.
But today, you went out there and you jogged, and you hadn't done it in a while, or ran.
Mm-hmm. This was like 6 months in the making. I was thinking about it for 6 months before I actually implemented it.
But think of this as a positive thing.
Yeah.
You're a very positive person.
Sure, it's progress. I'm very skeptical of all this advice that says, just think positive. Just flip your way of thinking.
It's not that easy.
Only.
The first step of a long journey is the first step. Isn't that what Confucius said? Something like that?
Like Confucius.
Good old Confucius. He said that. I know it. That or Mitch McConnell commie. Okay, I wanted to read this other thing to you. Tell me what you think about this. So you work in the profession of health. And this says here, you deserve quality care from well-trained and experienced doctors who treat you with respect. No one is perfect, including doctors. So how do you know if it's time to find a new physician? Here's some of the ways. You feel uncomfortable. If your physician ever makes you feel uncomfortable, either physically, emotionally, or sexually, it's time to find a new one, period. Comments?
Yeah, that's a big red flag right there.
He or she does not listen to you. What? It's important that your doctor hears your entire story to identify possible diagnoses. How do I say that? Diagnoses? Order appropriate testing and consider all the treatment options. So, do you think there are... Okay, we were talking about this the other day, about how some big health organizations, they rush their doctors and they're like, you got to get this many people in today. So it does seem like they're being pushed. It may not just be their own character flaw that they don't listen well. That might be the company they work for is pushing them, or maybe they haven't had a lot of sleep and they didn't listen. So you're shaking and nodding to that and throwing things at. No, I don't know what you're okay. Here's another one. Your doctor discourages second opinions. Misdiagnoses, including delayed, missed, or inaccurate diagnoses, occur 10% to 20% of the time. Thoughts? Basil sleeping?
He's sound asleep. Yeah, no, I think that's good advice. It's kind of similar to what we're talking about with the data rights, just for people to feel like your health is it's in your hands. Ultimately, the doctor cannot make the last call on whatever treatment is appropriate for you. He can give you suggestions, right? Because he is a professional and he has experience and training, so he can give you suggestions and recommendations based on what he knows. But ultimately, you're the one that chooses.
Oh, and I'll just zip through the other warning signs. You can't get along. You always feel rushed. Your doctor doesn't involve you in decision making. Bad hygiene and dirty offices. Your doctor... Oof. Do you have any stories?
No, but I'm just thinking about what the nightmare stories can be.
Yeah. Your doctor won't consider information you bring to appointments. Oh, that's bad. The office doesn't follow up on test results, and you can't get an appointment. All right, and then I had one other thing from Costco. It's the Costco show. And I'm not getting anything free from Costco. Although, those rotisserie chickens, I swear, they just practically give those away.
They're good.
And they'll be there in perpetuity. In perpetuity.
In juicy perpetuity.
The best advice you've ever received. You'll never regret taking the high road. These are some of the people, the readers of Costco, while they were sitting there trying to get onions on their hot dogs that they got super cheap. Trying to eat that little that little hot dog organ grinder. Has that little thing you turn around.
Organ grinder. I feel like there should be a little monkey.
Yeah. Monkey onions. Okay. This is what apparently the readers wrote back to Costco about the best advice they ever had. Okay. Stop worrying about things you have no control over. We don't have to agree on anything to be kind to one another. Don't act like the destination is more important than the journey. If you can't enjoy the way there, you aren't properly preparing yourself for the goal. And that's so true about I guess that ties into mindfulness. Like when I'm hungry, I need to eat. The goal is to get full. And then you just zip through and eat all this food and don't enjoy it. You don't slow down and enjoy the journey. And I know you and I have done some traveling, and I've always enjoyed the journeys have always been fun and very memorable. And I take so many pictures just on the Journey itself. And Journey was a great band.
Yes.
Except that Arnel Pineda, sometimes, I think his music, he gets a little too, what's the word? I can't think of the word. It's the, when there's no heart or soul, he's just doing the sound to do the sound. There's no, it's, there's nothing there. There's no heart there sometimes, I feel like, in his delivery. Okay, we went into music again. 80s music. Shoot. This guy, this is the one I was telling you about earlier, about somebody who, a boss, had this advice. When you come to discuss problems with me, you also should bring me solutions, options, or recommendations to choose from. And somebody, it's nice to be important, but it is more important to be nice. You can't get it if you don't ask. We've heard that before. If you have a significant other, always cook enough for two, even if they said they didn't want any. My lovely lady friend made some delicious salad tonight. It was very good. And she made it for two so I could have some. It had egg in it, hard-boiled egg. It was a nice vinaigrette. There was walnuts in it, cheese, garbanzo beans, black beans. This is so freaking healthy and delicious. You can't even... It's so good. A little bit of garlic. And there was... dates. She put dates in it. Can you believe that? Lovely. Lovely lady friend. Thank you. Well, I think I'm going to wrap up the show. I just want to say, don't put your finger in the socket. That's another good advice. It's not what you earn, it's what you do with what you earn. And this is advice that you should not take. They also had that part in this article. No flashlight on your phone. Take a photo of the sun and use it in the dark. Yeah, I have not tried that, but I don't know if taking a picture of the sun. And then my friend's dad told me, if you're doing something that you'll regret in the morning, just sleep until the afternoon. Just sleep in. Oh, that sounds nice for tomorrow after getting up because of the emergency. My lovely lady friend, I think we have gone on for quite a while. I did want to mention a couple other things. One of them, and I'm going to say it in like 10 seconds. This guy I work with a huge ego, I sent him an email with like some cool material for his show, and he writes me back about something else entirely different that pertained only to him. Was that too general, or is that specific enough? I don't know. But it was completely like, all right, I'm not sending you any cool stuff for your show anymore. Fine. Because you just throw back something about you that isn't even important right now. Did I just describe myself? I don't know. But comments, thoughts, prayers? No? You're just standing and smiling there? That doesn't work on podcasts that are just audio, lovely lady friend.
This is the deer in the headlight look.
Okay, that's... We'll teach you how to get through those. If you're doing a podcast, the deer in the headlight look doesn't work. So if you have your tips for getting through a deer in the headlight look on podcasts, go to MikesDailyPodcast.com and click on the, the email thing. Or wherever this social media is that you're catching this podcast, you can comment below or call me at 336-MM-DAILY. And next show, it's going to be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Thank you for listening. Here's Ariel with more about the whatever I just said.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.